You better turn up. You better be there when I shake. Watch me rockin' if I can't stop. If I should fall, just go ahead. Go and catch me, baby. Ooh, I live it. That's my tune. Choo-ah, choo-doo-ah. Ooh, I love it. Crank it up, yeah, yeah, yeah. Turn it up on a higher level. Turn it up, we got this. Turn it up on a higher level. Turn it up, we got this. Turn it up on a higher level. Turn it up, we got this. Turn it up on a higher level. Turn it up, we got this. You better join in. You better grab that tambourine. Bring the bass, we might be wicked. We may be forced to cause a scene. Make some trouble, baby. Ooh, I live it. That's my tune. Choo-ah, choo-doo-ah. Ooh, I love it. Crank it up, yeah, yeah, yeah. Turn it up on a higher level. Turn it up, we got this. Turn it up on a higher level. Turn it up, we got this. Turn it up on a higher level. Turn it up, we got this. Turn it up on a higher level. Turn it up, we got this. We got this. We got this. We got this.
Good afternoon, all. Thanks for coming over and joining us for another Sunday lunchtime live. Sorry, a little bit of delay. We had a little bit of a technical issue. So anyway, we're here now. So thanks for coming and joining us. As the title says, back to basics. Basic bolt turn. It's always nice to go back and just rehearse your tool presentation and just back to basics, really. So that's what we're going to do today. So as you saw, the tag spit out hashtag Top Hat Week. I was supposed to do it last week. Totally forgot about it. We're doing the candles. So there it is this week. So thanks to everybody who's entered or took part and sent over the pictures. Some really nice pieces. And as we always say, it's their interpretation. So some nice different colors and styles and this, that, and the other. So thanks to everybody who's done that. The new hashtag week will start next week for the new one. So come over and check that out. And then again, as always, anybody who wants to take part is more than welcome. It's about getting you in your workshop, having a play, having a practice, and just showing us what you want to, your interpretation of what the hashtag is. So before we start, massive happy birthday to Jennifer Stroughton. Has her birthday day, so everybody wish Jennifer a happy birthday. So I hope you have a great day, Jennifer, and thanks for coming and joining us. Turn that stream off, because if not, we're going to get an echo in the background. Yeah, so happy birthday, Jennifer. So I'm going to go over and I'm going to start this from scratch. So this live is mainly targeted at the newbies. So we're going to go from a basic bowl blank. I'm going to show you how to mark it out, how to drill it, or how I drill it, and then we're going to go right through to finishing a bowl right through to a nice finish. This is a piece of spalted, not sure what it is, but as you can see, there's a bit of spalted in there, not a lot, but a little bit. So we'll see how that comes out. So I'll go to the lathe, I'll get my smock on, get ready. Nick will welcome everybody in, and then we'll go from there. Do you want to welcome everybody in, Nick?
Hello, everybody. Right, so I've lost the top of my chat because I had a bit of an issue. So I'm just going to start from where I am. So if I miss anyone by the time I get to the end, I'll you just have to give me a shout out. So like Steve said, happy birthday to Jennifer. And here we go. So top of mine is Doug Miller at Woodspun Around, Woodworked by Colin, TF Turner, Charlie Taylor, Tipsy Turner, Jennifer's Craft Creations, Gary Glass, Keith Jarvis, Roy's the boy, but he's got to go because the wife wants to go see her mum.
Okay, yeah, sorry. Right,
Chris
you should be okay now.
Dodds, Lawrence, can't remember if I said it now, Woodturning by Barry, Sid's Repurposing, I don't know if that's Michelle or Michelle Higgins, Terry TJ Turner, Eric Winkler, Radar the Woodturner, Grandpa Jim Woodturner. David J. Heath, the Guildford Carpenter. Amy. And I haven't got anyone else. So, like I say, if you're in the chat and I've missed you, then just put your, me or something in at the bottom, and I'll give you a shout out because I lost the beginning of my chat. So.
Right, so welcome everybody. Thanks everybody for coming over. So, like I said, going to start from basics. So this is a blank size is 200 mil or just under 8 inches by 55 or 2 1/8. And that's a bit wider this side, so that's 2 1/4 that side. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go through how to start it right from the start. Like I say, this is more aimed at the beginners. So I use you can use several different things. You can either use a center finder like that, or you can use something like that. The only time I really use that is a bigger blank. So we're going to use this, and what you got to do is find your center, obviously, so we can drill a hole in it. So I always go all the way around, because if the bowl blank is not, or the blank is not perfectly round, you're going to get a little bit of variation in your center. So as you can see, that's not quite in the center. So there we are, marking it. I've used this as a back because, as you can see, that bit of wood is tapered. So this is fairly square, this side. So this side is not quite square. So I'm using this as the back. The reason being is this bit here will lay flat on the drill press when we're drilling it out. So let's go over and move this over to the bench drill. So bench drill. First thing I do is find the center of my. Actually, we'll make sure we've got the right one in there first, because I don't want to drill the wrong size hole. So we want about a 55 mil hole, and that's 50, 53. Yeah, so that's the right one in there. So first thing I'm going to do is just put the brad point of the Forstner bit in my center, just so when we got it running, it doesn't move. And then we're going to just drill a hole, really, around about 6 mil deep. Whoops. This bit wants sharpening a little bit. Don't want to be too deep. Yeah, definitely needs sharpening. So we just get rid of the sawdust. Go back over to the lathe. So we've got our mortise. It's about 5mm deep. So now we're going to mount that on our lathe. And that's as easy as that to mount. You can put it between centres and turn a tenon on the end if you wanted to. But I think for a pre-cut bowl blank, that is the easiest way to go. So first things we're going to do is what I like to do. I always like to flatten off my bottom so we can get a smooth. I always find it a little bit gives you somewhere where you're going to go. So that's the first thing we're going to do. We're going to smooth off the bottom of the piece. Amy's asking you a question, Nick.
Sorry. I'm not too bad. I still got these like sore throat and sniffly nose and stuff, but I'm getting there. Women, we just have to plod on and get on with it.
Heroes. Right, so let's change the camera so you can see what I'm doing. So what we're going to do is first, just make sure the cameras are clear. Oh, that's a nice clear picture, isn't it? Look at that. Just refocus that camera in. And the top one, just make sure these are nice and focused. So what the first thing we're going to do is going to clean the bottom up, and then we're going to gradually bring in some shape. So turn our lathe down, turn your lathe totally down to start with, then gradually build up the speed. And then we're going to gradually clean the bottom of this up. Using a 3/8 bowl gouge here.
Jennifer, but Steve likes his bottom smooth.
Can't beat a smooth bottom. We're just going to do this until that's flat. Hope you get rid of that bit of taper on what's in it. Just stop that and see what that's like. So we've just got a little bit more there, as you can see. Still a little bit of the wax on there. So I'm just using this shear cut just to clean it up with. So that should be the bottom flat. There we go. Nice and smooth now. So now what we're going to do is work out where we're going to put a mortise in the bottom. You can use a mortise or a tenon. I normally use a mortise on a piece like this so I can refinish it. But choice is yours. So we need around about 55mm for our expanding chuck. So 27mm or just over 27mm is good. So I'm going to move my tool rest back down. I'm going to use, oops, without dropping my pencil. Some guys use spindle gouges to do this, but I'm going to use a parting tool.
Brent Beecroft is on.
Hi Brent, how you doing? So I'm just going to use a parting tool to. I'm only going to put about a 4mm or 3mm tenon in here. And now I'm going to use a spindle gouge just to clean that out with. Tool rest up a little bit. I'm using a little 1/4" spindle gouge. Bit of wood's hard.
Moan.
So what I'm going to do now, I'm just going to use a scraper, or a skew, shall I say, just to put a little bit of a taper on the mortise going that way, because that's the way our gripper jaws grab. So just a little bit of a taper in there, and then just clean that bottom of that up a little bit, just to make it a little bit smoother. Like that. So what you can do in there, you can just put a couple of lines in there just to give it a little bit of detail, if you really want. Using the skew. And what I'm also doing, I'm just going to flatten this little bit out here, because we're going to keep this as a foot, this little bit here. I'm just going to flatten that out with a skew as well.
Christine and Michael Hesseltine are on.
Hi, Kristen and Michael. Hope you're both well.
Bailey Woodworks.
Hi, Bailey. So we're just going to put a little foot on there, about 10-15 mil on the outside. We're just going to mark that again with our parting tool. Again, take that down a couple of mil, just to give us a definition line. And that's where we're going to start our point to swoop our bowl. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to bring back the 3/8 bowl gouge, and I'm going to start doing some, you can do share cuts like that, or you can do push cuts. I'm going to do a variety of both, because we want that natural curve on that bowl now. So we're gradually going to work out this corner out. Oops. So as you're doing that, just move your tool rest around a little bit, just so you keep the minimum amount of overhang for your tool. So we're bringing in the gouge, handle low, riding the bevel, and then as we're getting a bite, we're just bringing the handle up a little bit to give us our cut, and we'll just gently let it feed itself round. Don't need to push on it. Just gently follow around, riding that bevel as we go round. Depending on how much you ride the bevel is depending on how deep a cut you do it, really. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to come back around this side. I'm going to do some share cuts just to bring that round. Just put a little bit more speed on it. Tool rest a little bit high, really. So I'm just going to bring some share cuts in just to get rid of, try and bring me that curve around the corner there, really. So like I say, we're looking for that natural continuous curve on the bowl.
Roy's at his mother-in-law's, but he's on in the background.
Good man, Roy, good man. So as you're coming around that corner, you lift the handle a little bit just to keep the gouge in contact, to bring that continuous curve around the corner there. And as you can see now, that curve is starting to appear on our piece. So just keep bringing those gentle shear cuts in. The idea of this is to remove the material, and then you can gradually hone it to the shape you want once you've got the shape that you require, or you desire, should I say, not require. So as you can see, we've got a bit of a flat there now. So what we need to do is just do a couple of little push cuts just to bring that round to the continuous curve. So again, riding the bevel, gently lifting the handle till you bring your gouge into contact where you want it, and then just let it feed itself round. If the gouge starts to bounce, it's because you're pushing too hard and you're forcing the tool. Whoops, you're forcing the tool. You don't need to force the tool. If your gouge is just sharp, it'll work perfectly on its own.
Barry's Wood Creations is on. He said, sorry, the chat.
Hi,
And all in
Barry.
the chat, sorry I'm a little late, grandchildren and all that.
You're all right, mate. So we're just going to stop that and have a look. So we're getting, we've just got a little bit more on here we can go. So what we can do is we can just gently bring that round to give us a continuous curve now. So just a nice light pass right in the bevel as we come around that corner. Don't need to give it any pressure. The tool should be sharp enough to do its own work. There is a hard bit, and I reckon there's an inclusion in there. So there's a bouncy bit there. I reckon there must be an inclusion there. Yeah, there. I reckon there's a bit of a bouncy bit. Let's try going the other way. So what we'll do is we'll do a push cut the other way and see what we can get. Just a little bit of a hump there. Just clear that out with a shear cut. So as you can see now, we've got that continuous shape. What we wanted.
Tipsy said inclusion. I like the inclusions.
Inclusions. Yeah, there's a little bit. I reckon there must be somewhere there, 'cause it's a little bit bouncy around here somewhere. We've got a little bit of tear out in there through the shear cut. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to get a little tiny 1/4 inch bowl gouge and just do a little push cut around that corner. Just hopefully to get rid of that bit of tear out. Right there it is.
Right there.
Right there, a little bit of bounce.
Roy said that looks a nice bit of wood.
Yeah, it is a nice bit of wood. It's come from Michael Howe when we was down in Devon, Cornwall, whatever you call it, that part of the world. So that's got rid of that tear out. So if you get a little bit of tear out going that way, try and go the opposite way, and 9 times out of 10 it will reduce that tear out. So we've just got a little bit of a hump there. I'm just going to get out. So again, any bowl gouge is exactly the same. Just ride that bevel until you feel it bite. Gently lift the handle, and then just gently feather it out like that. Right, so that little tiny bowl gouge is good. Right, so what we're going to do now, that's the bottom finished. Oh, shaped anyway. So I can't see a thing at my glasses. So what we're going to do now is, hi Ruby, how you doing? So we're just going to sand that now. Sand it up to 240 grit. So because we've got a couple of little tool marks in there, I'm just going to start from 80 grit and we'll rub it out.
Colin,
So,
how's your wife doing?
so basically 80 grit is to get the tool marks out of it, and then any grit above that is to take out the swirl marks from the grit below. So you don't need no major pressure with the Simon Hope inertia sander. You want the sanding pad to do all the work. You don't need to fight it. And you will feel keep rubbing your hands over it, you'll just feel those little bits of marking you got. So there wasn't a lot in there, just a couple of little bits where I was changing.
Wood dudes on?
Right,
Bit nippy today in the shop, he said.
bit nippy. You need a heater, mate.
It's not too bad here.
No, I did. I turned it off yesterday because it was hot in there. But I turned it back.
Shame, Colin. Any news when she might be home?
Oh, well,
Still in hospital. Can I mention it or not?
what?
About Joe.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Yeah, can we all send some get well wishes to Joe Senior? Unfortunately, she's in hospital at the moment as well. She is hoping to be out today, but just wishes of get well would be lovely, I think, for her. Cheer her up a bit.
Yeah, speedy recovery,
No
Joe.
one wants to be in hospital, really, do they?
No.
I hope your wife's home soon, Colin.
Right, so we're just going to gently sand that. So that's 80 grit. I'm going to take this up to 240. And then we'll get the Yorkie grit out.
Oh, you didn't click your heels 3 times.
Boy, has he gone, has he?
Hey,
Brilliant.
you got to click your heels 3 times. Yorkshire grit, Yorkshire grit, Yorkshire grit.
We're not there yet.
Brent said they got snow there.
In America, I think, isn't he, Brent?
Wood Dude said, hi all, what is everyone making today? I'm making beds.
Yeah.
Eric said it was 24 degrees there in Tennessee this morning. It was cold sleeping outside, lol.
Shouldn't upset the wife.
Chris said, Wood Dude, I just made a coffee. Does that count?
Right, so
Right, so
180.
Colin said no, they are still keeping an eye on her heart and waiting to do checks on her stomach to try and find out why she's anemic all the time. Well, I hope they get it sorted soon, Colin.
Yeah, definitely. Right, so we're going up 180. This is. So 180, just get a
Keith
little.
Jarvis is speedy recovery to all those who have had poor health recently. Just recovered from COVID myself, so know how it feels. That isn't nice.
I think that's a bit of a long recovery as well, because you're still not 100%
No,
from before.
definitely not.
I mean, especially for fatigue side of it.
I can't believe how much I sleep. I know I sleep anyway, but I just can't believe how much I have been like just literally going to bed and straight to sleep, whereas I don't normally do that.
No.
Normally lay watching telly for ages.
Even when you're coming from work, you're exhausted.
Yeah.
No, you never used to be like that. Right, so final grip, 240. So just get a little bit of grit just to clean that in there. And when I do this middle bit, I'm not really pushing on, I'm just gently skimming over the top of it, really, because you don't really want a major push on it. Just getting that, so we've got a nice sharp corner there. So there we are, all sanded up to 240 grit. Turn the extraction off.
John Scarborough's on.
All right, John, how you doing, mate? So just going to blow out them little lines we've got in the bottom there.
Colin said it took him 20 days to get a clear test, and even now he's getting aches and pains he didn't have before.
Yeah, it's a long recovery, I think. Right, I've got blooming shrapnel in my drink.
You had to have a new one because you got fly in it.
Right, so sand and sealer. Cellulose sand and sealer. This is Chestnut Products sand and sealer. Diluted 60-40. 60% cellulose sand and sealer, 40% cellulose thinners. The reason I thin mine down is because I actually just find it soaks into the timber a bit better. I mean, Chestnut do say that you don't need to thin it, but it's down to your own preference, really. Just going to give this a nice, generous coat of sand and sealer. Make sure we seal the wood up nice. I always find, I mean, I know a lot of people say you only have to give it one coat, but again, it's down to preference. I always like to give it a couple of coats because I find you get a better finish with it if you put a couple of coats on it. I find that the wax sits better on it, you get a better finish on it, you get a better shine on it, and to be honest, does it really matter? So the idea is to seal that wood so it doesn't penetrate when you put your wax and that on it to give you a nice shiny finish. So just work this in. Always nice when you put your sand and sealer on, you get a look of roughly what it's going to look like when it's finished.
Well, he said he's in the conservatory now. They're talking about the old days, but this is more interesting.
The old days, the old days.
Keith said he's not been in the shed for over a week for lack of energy.
I've not been as motivated as, I mean, I've not had COVID, but I've not been as motivated as I normally am the last couple of weeks. Normally I'm in the workshop every single day, and
Dr. Bob's on.
like Dr. Bob, and to be perfectly honest, the last week or so I can't really be bothered.
Mark Stroughton's on.
Right, Mark. Right, so a couple of coats of cellulose sand and sealer. Oh, my box is out there.
Ruby said she's just got her husband home after 2 months in hospital, but a
Oh.
long road ahead for rehab.
Well, I'm glad to hear he's home, Ruby. Give him our best. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use some shavings just to burnish this before we Yorkshire grit it.
Where's our Brian today?
Don't know.
Brian Gordy is on.
Right, Brian. He said he was coming in, but perhaps he's got more important things to do. Alright, so just burnish that. We're going to get some Yorkshire Grit Original on it. So, Yorkshire Grit Original.
So, Jennifer, you got anything nice planned for today?
Alright, so Yorkshire Grit, fold your tissue up so you've got a bit of a cushion. Nice dollop. As Glyn says, use it as you're not paying for it, which I don't. So, that's what I'll do.
Colin says it's got lovely grain, so did Gary, lovely grain.
It's a nice piece of wood, actually, isn't it? So, rub your Yorkshire Grit in first. Turn your lathe down to about 500 RPM.
Well, he said when they're talking about the old days, it's always about the same thing.
So work your grit in. You'll feel the abrasive paste start to break down. So
Amy's singing this Yorkshire Gritty song as we've got no Joe. So it was my first week back, had an eventful week. First day back, teaching all day. So then to find out that we were supposed to have a teacher taken for violin and a teacher taken for PE, and neither of them were in. So not only did I have to have them all day, I also had to do a music lesson, which was rubbish. Did not teach them violin. And a PE lesson, which I had to think on my feet and do as well. So yeah, it's a bit of a big hectic day Monday. I was definitely shattered when I got home then. And then teaching another couple of times in the week as well. So it's been quite full on this week. Only got another week, and then we've got a week off anyway. No, 2 weeks off. So I don't mind.
break up next Friday, do you?
Yep.
And the other half, anyway.
So.
Right, speed up a little bit.
Let's go. Chris Charlton 1033 is on.
Hi, Chris, how you doing? welcome to the channel if this is your first time over.
No, I think I've seen one before.
Are we? Oh, okay.
Brian Gordy said he wished he could retire and work in his shop all day.
Oh, so do I, Brian. So do I. Right, so we're going to spend a bit of time just letting this buff itself up, getting the final abrasiveness out of the paste. It should take us up to about 1,000 grit. So what we're going to do is now we're going to turn our tissue, speed up our lathe a little bit, and just gently work this out to get all the beeswax off of our piece.
Oh, guess what Royce just said? Oh, wait a
Huh?
minute. Well, I'll do this one first. Royce said he's got a new lathe coming on Tuesday. Sold some RC planes to buy it.
Ah, nice. Well done, boy.
Eric said, Steve, does lacquer adhere to your projects after Yorkshire grit application?
I've not actually done it over the top of Yorkshire grit, but I have done it over the top of embellishing wax. So for the Yorkshire grit side of stuff, I can't answer that. But over embellishing wax, I can answer that as a yes. But you can clean, once you've sanded, you can clean Yorkshire grit off with methylated spirits. So if you wanted to lacquer it, you could do that. Right, so let's just finally buff this off, get all the Yorkshire grit off of it.
Colin, I'm a teaching assistant, but when the teacher's not in, then I do, or because she's English lead, so then I generally have the class for her. I have for year 3 children, so they're like 7 and 8-year-olds. So once they get used to my sense of humour, they're all right.
Right, so that's sanded up now to about 1,000 grit. So now we're ready for our finish. I'm going to put over this. What am I going to put over? I'm going to put wood wax 22 over this.
So Brian Gordy said, I stumbled upon an art centre this week. I paid them a visit. The prices were sky high on turning and boxes. The quality was terrible for the price.
You find that, mate? You do find that quite a bit. We've been to some shops and all that, and you look at the pieces and you think, oh my god, what on earth was going through their mind when they turned that? So I'm going to use wood wax 22 chestnut products. So bit on a tissue, rub it all in, make sure you get a nice even coat. So when your tissue starts to grab, you know the solvents have evaporated out of the wax. So we can just gently buff this up, bit of speed. Don't need to apply any pressure on this. Put you on overhead. Don't need to apply any pressure on this. Just gently rub the tissue over it. As you can see, the shine even, should start to come.
So Jennifer said, not really, Nikki, just chilling today. I tried to catch up on Crafty Festival from yesterday's. Went out for a meal with kids and granddaughter last night. Yeah, my daughter said to me, what do you want to do? I was like, I said, everywhere will be packed. I said, I went out with my sister and mum yesterday and we went to Skegness. And
Skeg Vegas.
I just said, we'll go out. I said, I'm off in a week. I said, we'll go out and have some lunch during the week. So that's what we're going to do.
So I'm going to give this another coat.
Dr. Bob said, I apply it one direction and buff it in either reverse direction. What's your opinion?
I can't do that, Dr. Bob, because I've only got one direction lathe. So I don't think it really matters, to be honest, from what direction you buff it. If you really want a nice shine on it, you're better off using a buffing system. I have used a buffing system a couple of times.
So Eric said, thank you, Steve. Colin said, oh, I used to love flying RC. Roy, what lathe you getting?
Just gently buff this off. So I'm going to take most of this off with a piece of tissue, and then I'm going to finish it off with a piece of safety cloth. So get a bit of safety cloth. Just gently buff this to remove all that excess wax. Let's say you don't need to push hard on it because you will take away the shine. So there we go. That is the bottom finished. So there you go, nice shine on it, nice piece of pattern, nice wood, very pretty bit of wood. Let's show you on there. So as you can see, it's the bottom all finished, small mortise in the bottom there. Nice little tender foot. It's only about 1 mil high, that foot. So let's get it turned and play with the inside. So don't do it up too tight because you will split out your mortise. Just want to be enough to bite onto it. So what we need to do now is need to flatten this front off, because obviously this is the bit that's a bit wibbly wobbly. So we need to flatten this front out. So I'm just going to take the 3/8 bowl gouge and run that across the front there to get rid of, flatten that out and remove our mortise that we used earlier. Safety glasses first, Stephen.
Brian Gordy said, when turning Purple Heart, is it completely necessary to flame it in order to lock in the colour? I've read Purple Heart will turn brown otherwise.
Purple Heart will turn brown if you leave it in the sun and that, but how to keep that I do not know. Right, so we're just going to clean this out. Let's put you on the camera. You might see a bit better picture. What you will do if I turn the camera where it needs to be. There we go. Right, so let's just clean this out. Just using share cuts just to clean this out. Stop it, make sure we've got it flat, which I think we have. Which we have. There you go. Right, so now we're going to take out this bit in the middle here. So making sure your tool rest isn't too high. Bringing your bowl gouge in, riding the bevel. As you can see there, I'm riding the bevel, not making any cut. So what we're doing is going to just gently lift our handle up till the bevel bites to bring in our cut.
John Scarborough's got to go because his grandchildren have arrived.
See you later, John. Have a good day. Just sharpen this gouge up, I think. It's a bit blunt. I'm just going to sharpen my gouge up. Move that out of the way. Never have a big enough workshop. Always stuff in the way.
Copper our wood turnings on.
All right, Rob, how you doing? So just sharpen this, just quick sharpen. Right, that's better. So have another go. Tool rest a bit low now.
Colin said, try having a 6x4 shed. Barry's got to go. He's got to go dish up dinner.
Good night, Barry. Trouble is, as you come into the middle, obviously it's running at half the speed of what the outer edge is. So, and that's quite a hard bit of wood, that. So bring it in, right on bevel, bring it in. As you come into the middle, bring your handle up slightly. Close your flute up a little bit, just to bring it in. So ride your bevel. handle up a little bit, push it in, up and over as you're going in through the middle. And as you're coming towards the center, bring your handle up a little bit. And then gently close the flute of your gouge. Just like that. Like everything, it's just practice, practice, practice. You don't need to force your tool. If you've got a sharp tool, it should feed itself in. Definitely a hard bit in the middle there. Really hard compared to this. Ooh, done that good. Sharpen my gouge and hit it on the bed of the blade. That's a good idea. So when you go between here and there, it's quite easy. As soon as you get this middle bit, it's quite hard. So just move the tool rest a little bit. Try and keep your tool rest as close as your piece all the time, just to give you that extra stability and stableness. Don't want to be too deep on there, because obviously let's have a look at that. Everybody shouts about having a mega super thin bowl. I don't really. A bowl should be not big and chunky, but it should be usable. So I'm not, I don't really care about thin bowls. But we'll go a little bit thinner than that. Perhaps want this about 1/2 inch thick. So this outer wall's a little bit thicker than what I want, so I'm just going to do a couple of passes to get rid of some of that. We'll just check that. So we want to take a little bit more out of this bit here. It's a little bit, that's nice thickness all the way through there. Just need to take a little bit more out of that back edge there. Excuse me. So as you can see that gouge going up and over, and then as you come into the middle, bringing it back down low.
Door 60s on.
Right, door. And then just closing that flute.
Wood Dude said, hey, don't put down the 2mm bowl club.
Right, so what I'm going to do now is going to change to traditional grind.
Dr. Bob said purple heartwood turns brown when it's exposed to sunlight.
Oh, right, there you go. So we're going to use traditional grind now. Just to with a traditional grind, not such a steep angle, so you get that nice curve in the bottom of your bowl. So just going to check the thickness of that at the bottom there, because we're getting close to our tenon. Right, so we just got a little bit, other than that little bit there, I'm happy with that. So we're just going to clean up a little bit. That's better. So we just need to do something with this edge now here. I think I'm just going to put a little bit of a drop on this edge, just so it's not so flat. So just a nice little bit of a...
Tipsy Turner's got to go. He's got to go set the live stream for his church.
See you later, mate. Thanks for coming over. Right, so that's it. That's our shape. That's what we're going to go for. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to get... I'm going to sand that inside with the power sander. The reason being is because it's a bit... it's a bit quicker. So I just need to drill. So I'm just going to use a drill just to do this. Again, we're going to take this from 80 grit up to 240. Put our extraction on to catch all our dust. Sanding from this side to out so the dust goes down the extraction.
Copper House said a rolled edge
Roll edge.
on your bowl.
Got a funny bit of colouring in there. Looks like that little colour in there makes it look like there's still a bit of a line in there, but there's not. So just give that edge a bit of a sand. I'm just going to lose the sharpness on it as well. So that's 120, 180. So final one, 240. You want to try and keep that sharp corner on there. Try not to run your sanding pad past that area.
Brian's on. He said, "See, you only thought I'd abandoned you guys. I'm here now. It's been a very busy morning."
It's all right. We're finished now, Brian.
Thank God, he said.
Right. All sanded up to 240 grit. Turn extraction off. Right. Need to get some sand and sealer on there now. Get rid of these tissues. There she is. She pops. Nice little bowl, that is. I like that. Very pretty. Been a while since I did a normal bowl, just a plain bowl. Spalted wood always does look nice, to be honest. Always does finish nice.
Brian's put not another bowl.
So where's Brian's link for tomorrow night? And what's Brian turning tomorrow night then? What do you reckon? Let's give it another coat, I think. Oh, it's a bit much, Steve. Right, sand and sealer. I need to bring my bucket back in here. Let that dry, burnish it off with a little bit of shavings just to dry the sand and sealer off. So we'll get the Yorkshire Grit back out. So Yorkshire Grit Original. Wrong camera, Steve. Yorkshire Grit Original. Must be getting warm outside because it's getting warm in here.
Oh, God, too warm.
Alright, so let's get this buffed up. I did that Friday night and all. It's always good to keep hold of your tissue when you're...
You couldn't have done it Friday night. You didn't go on Friday.
Well, Saturday morning then. Early Saturday morning.
Brian said he's doing a lid.
A lid?
He said he's not set his link up for tomorrow yet, but we're doing it this afternoon. Barry's Wood Creation said he's off to pick some more Spalted Beech tomorrow.
Oh, nice. I do like spalted wood. Just looks so nice and no two pieces are the same.
Robbo's on.
Hi, Robbo. How you doing, mate? Alright, so we just speed that up a little bit just to finish off this. Oops, just finish this grit off. So we're just going to buff it now, take all the excess beeswax out. Got a clean piece. I'm not keen on this tissue, it don't tear properly.
You bought it.
Yeah, I won't be buying any more, that's for sure.
Robbo got mixed up with his times.
Yeah, because we've gone forward an hour overnight, haven't we? They're still in day saving. Because then they're going into their winter, aren't they? Right, so Yorkshire grip up to about 1,000. Again, I'm going to put wood wax 22 on this. So a bit of tissue. If I can get a bit that's actually going to tear. No, tear straight. No, it's not. So nice bit of wood wax. Just give it a little bit of a buff. So that outer edge again as well.
Does the UK have a place like Costco? Yeah, they do have Costco's, don't we?
Yep. Who asked that?
Amy. Doug Miller said, looks great, Steve. Sorry I can't stay to the bitter end, but I've got to go. I'll watch the balance later.
You're right, mate. Right, so let's just buff this up. Nice to see you over, Doug. Thanks for coming and joining us. All right, so let's just buff this off. I'm just going to give it another coat of wax. Give it 2 coats. See if we can just get it a little bit more shiny. I'll give it a little bit more protection, should we say? So what I'll do on this one, I'll buff this one off with a piece of safety cloth.
So Brian says, I'm covered in concrete dust, been drilling holes to make a bigger hole for the extractor, the laser cabinet.
He's moving his laser into his workshop. All right, I think we are nearly there. Quite like that. It's quite a nice little subtle bowl, that is. Oops, I don't want to be doing that. So we'll take the smock off and I'll get it out and have a look at it.
Gary said, worked out what wood it is yet, Steve. Looks bonny.
I reckon it's a piece of spotted beech. I reckon. I bought this from Michael Howe when we was down in Devon, Cornwall last year. It was last August, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So there you go. Nice little. Like I say, I think it's spotted beech. Nice little bowl. That I like that. That actually more. It's not as yellow as that look on the camera. Let's see if we can bring it on a different camera.
Amy says, awesome. Looks great.
That's a better colour. I look better. That way.
Colin says, very nice.
So that camera makes it look very yellow, but it's not as yellow as that. But that's more like the natural colour. So yeah, not. It's a nice little size, nice little bowl. It ended up being 195 by from the back of the foot to the front of the piece, so 50 mil. So we didn't actually take a lot off of it because it started off 55 by 200. What did I say? That was 8. Yeah, it was 8 1/8. So it was 203 mil. So we've only actually taken about 5-6 mil off the side and about 5 mil off the front. So we actually haven't lost that much on the blank, which is nice. So nice little bowl. Like I say, today's was more pointed at the beginners because it's always nice to refresh and go back to learn those basic tool skills. And that's why I wanted to do it, because even myself, I come in here and just grab a blank and run myself through the basic riding the bevel and the push cuts and the share cuts, things like that. And it's always nice just to refresh just to keep it fresh, because sometimes you get too placid and just doing it. I know it should be a second nature, or come natural, should I say? But sometimes good just to refresh. And same with spindle work. It's sometimes good just to do beads and coves just to refresh the memory, because I don't do as a lot of spindle work, to be perfectly honest. I should do a bit more, but it's always nice sometimes just to go back and refresh those basic skills. So I hope you've enjoyed. Robbo's about to turn a 24-inch diameter by 6-inch thick bowl. That's a big piece of wood. That's
Harry
a big
said
piece.
it looks like beach to him.
Yeah, it looks like a piece of spalted beach to me. Like I say, Michael's not in, so I'm sure I've done one before, and I'm sure it was spalted beach, so that's what rings a bell. So I hope you've enjoyed. Hope it's helped some people. Like I say, I do enjoy doing these lives, and it's always good to pass on the knowledge. So I hope I haven't lectured people on what everybody knows. But like I said, it was more pointed at the beginners today rather than the more experienced turners. So I hope you've enjoyed. Yeah, all right, Robbo. I do practice with the skew. I do use the skew now and again. When I'm in there, just get a bit of timber and just practice with it. I don't just leave it on the shelf, but I'm not confident enough to use it much in lives. That's the problem. But that'll come. That'll come. So I think we're done.
Brian said, "Well done, Steve. Thank you and Nikki for spending the time on a Sunday afternoon to entertain and educate."
Well, I wouldn't say educate, but it's just to help people, isn't it? If we can help, that's a good thing. So let's go. Right, not very long live today. What's that? Just over an hour. So what I'll do is, as we go out, I'll play the hashtag Top Hat Week again.
Thanks, Keith.
Thanks to everybody who took part, and the next hashtag will be announced next Sunday. So come over and check that out. Something for people to get on and enjoy. And I think that works out that if we do the hashtag next Sunday, the video will be launched Easter weekend. Is that right?
I don't know.
So next Sunday is... Oh, I've just pressed the blooming wrong camera.
I ain't got no. Oh, I ain't got no things on the bottom, so I can't.
Right,
Just
so if we do next Sunday is the 3rd of April.
Yeah.
And then the hashtag weekend would be, we'll show the video on the 17th, which is Bank Holiday weekend, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that'll work out Easter weekend, so that'll work out well. So let's do that. So come over next Sunday. I will show you what the hashtag week is. Again, it's going to be a good one. It's going to be a fun one where you can chuck some colour at it, natural, whatever you want to do. But come over and check us out next Sunday. So we've got tomorrow lunchtime. We have Terry from TJ Turning. He'll be turning. I'll be back tomorrow lunchtime, 1 o'clock on his channel. Nick did put the link in for it earlier, I believe.
I haven't.
Oh, did you not? I thought you
Told
had.
me not to.
No, I didn't. I didn't tell you not to put the
You
link
did. You
in.
said don't put it in because he's not in the chat properly.
No, it's at all.
He's only temporary anyway, so.
So Nick will put the chat. Nick will
There
put
you
the
go,
link.
temporary Terry.
Terry. He's gone out today. So yeah, check Terry out tomorrow lunchtime. Brian's on tomorrow evening, so come over and check Brian out. Both good turners, both deserve your support. So if I don't see you before, I'll see you then. Other than that, have a great weekend. What's left of your weekend? Have a great week, and I will see you Friday evening on our live Friday night. What I'm turning, couldn't tell you. Hopefully something fun. It's Friday night. It's fun night. So thanks to everybody for coming over. Massive happy birthday to Jennifer. Hope you have a great day. Hope Mark's spoiling you. And thanks to each and every one of you guys in the chat and my lovely wife for joining us. So take care. Speak
On
to you
Mother's Day, have you?
on Mother's Day. She ain't my mum. Well, actually, she is more like my mum. Yeah. Yeah. Did you put Terry's in twice?
No, I've put in one in for Brian as well.
Right.
That's just his channel.
Oh, right. Okay.
Don't
Right.
want
So
to feel left out.
don't want him grumping, sulking in the corner. So have a great week. Speak to you soon. Soon later. Right. Have a great week. Speak to you soon. Take care. Bye for now. Bye.
That's all, folks.